So I want you to grade yourself on how yourself and the government dealt with it.
Yeah, Mark, I got to be honest. This has been a very challenging file, and I just recently reflected, as I mentioned to you, on a letter that I penned to all those who'd written into my office to apologize. And apologize not necessarily in that I alone. I think there's a confluence of things that frustrated and led to where we're at, but I apologize for the fact that they didn't feel heard and acted upon by all levels of government there. You can go back to a lot of origins in the weakening of the criminal code and the decriminalization of drugs. It's a federal responsibility. The Superior Court ruling, which talk about a charter right, and that can be litigated at some point and will be litigated, I'm confident. Or as the Premier said, we'll invoke the notwithstanding clause to address it. But we cannot normalize a country where, from coast to coast to coast, you see people living in tents in public spaces. That can't be the new norm. And I take responsibility for the we as public policymakers, because I am one, bear responsibility to do better. Complex systems that we've allowed to become so large. Look at even just our local system management. Management, administrators, directors, executive directors, and at its core, we've lost sight of the people. The people we're meant to serve and direct. The vulnerable people who need to get into treatment beds, who need to get wraparound supports, who don't, at the best of times, can't function, let alone navigate a system. Money that's been poured into problems with little to no accountability. And we're rectifying that. Looking at modular and rapid solutions, again, working to rectify that. Having more bed space and capacity to support people with mental health needs and acuities. But I just feel that as I reflect on 2024, that the people of Cobourg deserve better when it comes to our feel-good town. And I'm glad that the encampment is gone at Brookside. There's still pop-ups we hear about, but we're empowering police officers to get very tough on open and illicit drug use. We can't normalize next to elementary schools crack pipes and needles. That can't be the new norm for seniors who want to walk hand in hand with their loved one, their partner, who've given everything and deserve to retire in peace. And for those vulnerable who need supports, it can't be just, we'll throw you in a motel room with no wraparound supports. We've got to do better. And so that is certainly something we've taken to heart as a provincial government. We have seen this nationally. I don't think decriminalizing drugs does us any favors. But just as I reflect on that, I want those people at Cobourg to know that they have been heard, and that certainly at the Voice at Cabinet table led to our announcement at the end of the year on a direct injection of funding, accountability on service managers. I don't think we've seen enough accountability on service managers because we're pouring millions into the problem and it's not getting better. And more outside the box thinking is needed. And so I've committed to doing that, and I know as a team we have. And the people of Cobourg deserve to know they've been heard, and it shouldn't get to this where we see such polarization.